Again, welcome to the South Jersey Men's Club December meeting. Thank you for being here. We have a very full agenda today. It's a different format. We don't have a speaker, so hopefully we will let you speak as much as we can to participate. Okay, we're going to have Pledge of Allegiance now, so please stand up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's do Hamotzi. Who's going to do Hamotzi? Volunteers?
Who's the newest? New members.
New members, okay.
Ron, who's the newest member?
You can all sit down.
Sit down.
New member.
All right, go ahead. Amen. Okay, please let people who have problems getting to the table first, but go ahead and let's enjoy the breakfast. What we're going to have is a moment of silence now for memory of all the people who lost their lives in Israel. So please stand up. Yeah, please stand up. We're going to have a moment of silence for the people in honor of Israel. Okay, thank you. Just a couple of reminders. We're having a very important investment club meeting after we're done, so please attend. It's really important. And if you haven't done yet, let's contribute to the 50-50. Raise your hand. Who's the 50-50? All right, here. All right. Okay. Now we're going to go into the agenda, and Ed Stein is going to lead us on that. Ed, where's Ed?
You just took the table again.
By the way, we have a list in the tables, a list of all the hostages of Israel, listed by age, from 11 months to 79. So we thought that would be an interesting thing to show. Okay, Ed.
Thank you, Abe. Thank you, Abe. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our December breakfast. Breakfast, as you've already partaken, we have lunch at around 1:30 and dinner at 7. It's a very long program, but we'll do our best.
The dinner's at your house, right?
Dinner's at my house, yes. Yes. At first, let's see if we can get rid of some of the quick ones. Bob Greenberg wanted to say a word about charitable contributions, how we did with the Israel campaign. Bob, where are you?
I'm right here, right over there.
You have a good voice. You can talk from there.
I got traffic in front of me. Okay. First of all, we have more than exceeded our matching funds. If you remember, we were going to, as a club, we were going to give $500 to 5 different charities. We've well exceeded that. So that money is out. To date, we have collected almost $21,000. Stan, if you could stand up, please. For those who don't know Stan, he is our Vice President of Finance. If you want to make contributions, make them send the email to Stan so he can track it. Because what we want to do is we want to have Gary put together, if you don't know, Gary is our contact on The Voice. We are going to have, we're going to have Gary put an article together to show to the Jewish community just how much we stand behind Israel. Anybody have any questions? Yes, Ed?
I want to thank you for all the work that you and your committee have done to put this together.
And listen, our pleasure. I wish we didn't have to do it. Anything else? Yes, Bernie?
Where's the money going actually in Israel?
It's going to various organizations. We had 5 that we named. I don't have them in front of me right now, but we have given most of it to the 5. People have given to other charities, and if you have, please let Stan know, because what we want to do is we want to show in total what we've done. I have the feeling that we're probably closer to 25,000 than 21,000. Yes, Lee?
Can you please spell out Stan's email address so that people can make your opinion?
Yes, it's S. Shumas, SHUMAS, at Comcast.net. Okay? I sent an email out about 2 weeks ago summarizing what we had done, and I put the email address in that. If you go home and you're like me and you forget, you can go to our website. There is a listing of all members and with all the email addresses. Okay? Any other questions? No more questions. Okay. On with the program.
By the way, that email address, there's 2 S's at the beginning, S for Stan and S for Shumas, SSHUMAS at Comcast.net. Don Weisenstein, fantasy football, just a quickie. Last week, this is the last weekend for fantasy football. We have 12 teams. It looks like the ads team may do it, but you never know. You never know. They've been pretty dominant the whole season.
10 years ago, I started the Fantasy Football League here. We started with 8 teams. Now we have 12 teams. 26 people are involved with fantasy football in 4 states, plus the District of Columbia. This year, we're wrapping up our 10th season this weekend, and we have 2 teams playing for the championship. One is Losing Streakers, owned by Mike Perloff and Ben, and they will play the defending champ Ads, which is Glenn and Ben Adler. First place, $330 minimum. Second place, $198 minimum. Playing for 3rd place and 4th place are the Steins, that's Ed and Alan, and they're playing the Clees, which is Larry Clee, a longtime member, and his 2 sons, Fred and Mark. 3rd place will be at least $132. 4th place, at least $60. Just have some idea, the 12th place team is guaranteed at least $15 right now, and that's for 12th place. I want to mention, unlike our other activities, this is purely a social event. We're not asking you to come out for a law enforcement breakfast or building a sukkah. This is purely fun, something that can be done at home, as long as you have a computer and you're a member in good standing of the men's club. You could have a team by yourself or with 3 other people for a total of 4. You could include your wives, girlfriends, both, children, grandchildren, neighbors, anybody that has a computer, and they could be literally anybody in the world. Starting Monday, I'll be planning season 11. I actually start Monday for season 11. If anybody is interested in getting more information about having a team or working with somebody else that has a team, all I need is your name and phone number, and I'll give you a lot more detail at that point. But again, it takes no skill. Obviously, if Mike is fighting for the first place, it takes no skill, but it does take a little luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thanks, Don. I can say this. Don mentioned children, grandchildren. I've been a team with my son for, I don't know how many years now. How many years have been? Probably 10? Close to 10 years. It's a lot of fun. We text each other during the game. My son lives up in Flemington, so I don't see him that often. But it is a lot of fun. I know we all enjoy it.
Ed, can I just get one more thing I forgot?
Sure.
I really want to thank my treasurer for the fantasy football.
Marty.
Without him, he certainly deserves that round of applause.
I'm sure some of you were there, but we had a very successful Coping with Christmas luncheon. I heard the food was very good. I heard there was a major problem with the plastic forks, but somehow I think Ed Silver overcame that. Ed, do you want to take a minute and talk about Coping with Christmas?
So for a number of years, except for COVID, we have dealt with Christmas by getting together with a luncheon that we call Coping with Christmas. We had it for last Christmas. I have a couple questions. Next year, Christmas is going to be the same day as the first night of Hanukkah. I wanted to know whether you think we ought to go through the whole planning again for another Coping with Christmas. If you think it's a good idea, can you just raise your hand? If you think it's not a good idea, could you raise your hand? It's the first night of Hanukkah? It's the first night of Hanukkah. All right, so I'm going to discuss it with the board whether we're even going to do it next year. What I'd like to know for those, Ed said it was successful, and I think relatively speaking it's successful. We had over 30 people there, but that means we only had about 15 members. So those that were there, can you tell me what you thought about the event? Anybody who was there can just quick... I want to hear the good news first.
I thought it was very good. I thought there was a great choice of food. However, the crab claws were too strong. I couldn't even crack them.
Okay. By the way, we told everybody it was going to be $20, but it was only $15. I found out they gave us a senior discount. Dick.
Yeah, I think the best part actually is the socialization that goes on. It's a good chance to meet the spouses, and the camaraderie is what really makes these events. Food is fine.
So, thank you. One of the concerns I have, some people had other commitments, they couldn't make it. But some of the concerns I have, and I'll be quick because we have to get other speakers here. If you chose not to go, could you give me some reasons what you'd like to see different that might encourage you to go next time? Anybody?
I have a question. Who selected the venue?
You mean where we go?
Yeah.
Okay. The question was, are you having problem with where we went? Is that part of the problem?
I've never been there, but I've heard bad stories about it. But apparently the food was good.
Food was good and good selection.
Yeah.
The question was, how come we selected that place? The problem is, where can we go on Christmas? There are so few places that are open, and those that are open cannot handle a crowd that we hope next time will be 50 or 60 people. Sir?
I saw advertised when you said one of the other Chinese buffets. They have several rooms for the same thing.
Okay, so we're going to look carefully for next year to go to a different place. But this is on 70?
I think it was one of them on 70, Cherry Hill.
Okay.
Reuben?
That's on 38. Okay. All right, thank you very much.
I just wanted to take a minute. You know, we are all about volunteering and not just being an organization that asks you for money all the time. And I know there's a lot of volunteers out here. Just, I'd like to just get an idea of pantry, delivering meals, medical appointments, all of that kind of stuff. Raise your hand if you're involved. Wow, that's great. It looks like maybe half. If you're not involved and you've got some time, get involved. It's very rewarding. People need help, whether it's delivering meals or working at the pantry or taking them for medical appointments. I wanted to just take a minute.
Relative to that, I signed up for 4 different activities and haven't gotten contacted by any of those people.
Let me know. I will get you involved. One of the problems that they have in getting more people involved is there are a lot of volunteers and they all have to be vetted. Vetted meaning they've got to check you out. And if you have client contact, you need to be, guys, if you have client contact, you need to be fingerprinted, so forth and so on. I'm sure most of you qualify. There's no problem there. But it does take them a while to get through some of the volunteers and get them vetted and get them involved. But if you've signed up and you haven't been accepted or haven't had any calls, let me know. I'm here. I'm at the back table there. Stop and give me your name if you would. In fact, I will write it down. Bob Bernstein. I wanted to take a minute. JFCS puts out a newsletter. I think it comes once a month. About what's happening at JFCS, Jewish Family and Children's Services, which is the main organization that most of us volunteer with. And we have a member, and I didn't know this, he's not here today. In fact, he was going to be here. He called me last night and said he wasn't going to be able to make it. I just want to take a minute and read you the kind of things that we do. And especially he is very involved. His name is Richard Chait. Some of you probably know him. I asked him if he minded if I read this. This was on their newsletter this month. Richard Chait first came to JFCS in 2021 to offer his assistance through both our medical transportation program and a Take the Wheel veterans programs. This is doctor's appointments and so forth. Since then, he has provided more than 80 client rides, delivered hundreds of holiday and weekly kosher meals, delivered groceries to dozens of Betsy and Peter Fisher Food Pantry clients who live in outlying areas, and stepped up to provide rides for patient partners, clients when other volunteers were unavailable. Richard has also driven clients to Vineland for Hope and Healing Holocaust Survivor Program. They have a program in Vineland where they have a luncheon. I believe it's once a month or once a quarter, where some of our people in this area who are Holocaust survivors need transportation to Vineland. One client shared that without Richard, she would have missed a very important medical appointment. From the time he arrived, he made her feel extremely comfortable. During the appointment, knowing he was there made her feel less anxious. After the appointment, he went above and beyond and helped her pick up her prescriptions. While driving her home, they had a great conversation about current events. Without Richard's comfort and humor, she would have been lost. We are so lucky to have Richard as an integral part of the JFCS volunteer team. Thank you, Richard. Let's give him a hand even though he's not here. So that's the kind of thing that people are doing, and if you can get involved, there may be a holdup in getting you involved because of the vetting process, but you will get involved. Nelson, do you want to come up and talk to us about an Israel trip?
Sure.
I think you're the one. I've been told.
Law enforcement was next, that's why I'm turning.
No, I'm running through some quickies, hopefully.
Could you put the slides up? Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Andy. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I'm Nelson Melitz. If you don't know me, that's good.
Let's give Randy a few
Nelson,
seconds.
can I stop you for a minute? Nelson's pretty modest. Nelson is the national commander?
Past national commander.
Past national commander. Oh, you're already out?
Yeah, they threw me out.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
He is the past national commander of the Jewish war vets for the whole country.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Just a little correction. It's not just the whole country, it's the whole world.
Oh, the whole world.
Yeah, okay.
The whole solar universe.
The whole solar system, very good. It's only a one-year term, and then the past national commanders get put in special positions in order to help out the current national commander. So it was a fantastic opportunity to represent southern New Jersey as well as New Jersey. No, thank you. Okay, I'm up here for a reason. We know Israel's fighting a war in Gaza. They're fighting a war because they were attacked on October 7th. We have an opportunity we've been talking about for many, many years. And some of these slides will address where Mike Perloff and myself went to Israel to work on a military base to help relieve the reservists, the active duty people, to go and fight or guard the borders. Okay, program's called Volunteers for Israel in the United States. Throughout the world, it's actually called SARL. It's a fantastic program. It gives us as individuals an opportunity to actually work on an Air Force base, an Army base, and give the support that Israel needs at this time, and they always need it, but especially at this time. Let me see if I know how to use this. Okay, this is one of the slides that were taken, one of the pictures that were taken when we were at the airport. There was, in 2018, when Mike and myself went, a whole bunch of people from different countries. France was one of the primary countries that were sending people. Not always Jewish people, but a whole bunch of people to work on the military bases. Okay. This is some of the work that we actually were doing. Mike and myself were assigned to a military base that actually takes care of medical supplies, sending it out to the troops. I remember one day they said you had to get these boxes out, these packs put together, so we get them on the truck today. The next day we heard there was fighting going on the border on Gaza. They needed it for the troops. It shows it's immediate, it's necessary, it's important for us. You could have all kinds of jobs. I don't remember the guy standing on the left-hand side painting. Yeah, but let me go back to the previous picture. Look at the picture over here. There was one 84-year-old lady in our group of about 50, 60 people who could lift more weight than Mike and myself. She wouldn't stop working. She was fantastic. But you saw all ages of people. You saw some young people there, but we were mostly people that were retired for the most part, like this group. But they have all kinds of people. Okay, this is just a little picture of Mike and myself, and don't look at my stomach. The food is good there. The food is free, by the way, if you consider it. And it's, yeah, the Israelis eat a lot of vegetables, so I was very healthy at the time. Okay. After breakfast, we all get together, sing Israeli songs, get together, raise the Israeli flag. Somebody is given the honor each day to raise the flag, and that is an honor. Everybody else stands in formation and watches that flag go up. It's just one of the warehouses we worked in, and I'm not going to take a lot of time with these slides. Okay, here's just you have to be physically fit. You can't be somebody that's in a wheelchair, and actually you have to be able to lift some weight. You have to be able to walk, because they're not looking for people to just come there and sleep in a cot and be social. They want people to work. So if you're considering this, they are going to ask you for a reference probably from your rabbi or somebody else of equal status, and you have to be physically fit to do some work. It's up to you if you want to do a sorting of supplies, like I said, medical supplies, putting one thing in one box that's really light, or you want to lift the boxes and put them on a bus, a truck, or whatever. But everybody in our group worked. We worked from early morning until 5, 6 at night, or sometimes later. Some people came back and worked, but we had a job to do. Okay, here's one of the places I worked in, and I think Mike worked here too. It was actually assembling some of those medical packages, and you can see in the center all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it has to go in these boxes a certain way, because when you're a medic out in the field, this is what they told us, they have to know where to look in that box. These boxes are about 50 pounds, really 50 pounds. And they can't be searching at the bottom for whatever they need for that individual that's been wounded. So you have to put it in a certain way, and then you had somebody out there inspecting it. But it was fantastic how fast we got. It was a production line. The people lined up, putting things in a certain way, taking the box, put it in a different section, then wrapping it up a certain way. Then the truck would show up, or the bus, or whatever we put it on. And usually the reservists helped us. Okay, that's a picture of Mike. Should I leave it on here for a while? Yeah. Just joking, man. He's a hard worker, though. I guarantee it. Let me back up a second. We actually shared one of the hooches, they call it, one of the barracks little areas. And my problem is I snore at night. And Mike told me that all the time. He still tells me that. But he's good. He was very nice. So it was just a fantastic experience. Yeah, some more packing boxes.
So Nelson, he don't snore?
Mike snores, I snore, we both snore. He got it fixed, though. I never got it fixed. Okay, here's just some more people. Evening activities. Every evening they had, I forgot what they called the young female troops, but they actually gave us a presentation on the history of Israel, history of the Jews, something else that was important. There were some noteworthy people who showed up. I never heard of them before. Not the Prime Minister. He never showed up. But there was people showed up and actually gave us a briefing on what's happening in Israel, in the world, Judaism, etc. And it was fantastic. Okay, here's one of the reservists that was serving food at the time. Like I said, the food's fantastic. Something I want to note. See, he's dark complected. You go to Israel, and this is important to look at this, they say at least 40% of the people are dark complected. Now you look at anti-Semitism in the United States, they say it's all white Jewish people in the United States. It's not true. You go to Israel with all the Yemenites and all everybody else that came there, almost every one of the people that were in combat that came back and talked to us, they were all dark complected. So keep that in mind if somebody says that all the Jews are white, from Russia, Poland, etc. That's not true. And they say eventually, within the next 10 years, most of the Jews in Israel will be dark complected.
When were you there?
2018.
When?
2018.
18, sorry. Here's Mike again, and like I'm saying, he's a hard worker. They did have a washer and a dryer. I'm sorry, they had a washer. I don't remember if they had a dryer in the barracks. But it was a World War II type U.S. barracks. And the women were upstairs, the men were downstairs. They clearly separated us. They put us on cots. We had to wash our clothes in that one washer. If they had a dryer, like I said, I don't remember.
Which is Mike? Is he the washer or the dryer?
I don't know what he is.
He's the clothes hanger.
Yeah, but Mike's been there about 6 times on this trip. So he gave me instructions and other people. And every once in a while, we'd get together after dinner, everybody, and we'd just talk about where we're from, the children, the grandchildren, the kind of thing you speak about here. It was just a fantastic experience. And some people we even met later on when they came, to the New Jersey area, Pennsylvania, etc. A lot were from Pennsylvania, by the way. Weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, you're on your own. So you tour around Israel. They'll give you instructions about where you could go. They will not make reservations for you. You have to make your own reservations in hotels. But they'll take care of you generally. And here's the final picture, I believe. Yeah, that's the final picture. So we're planning a trip in April. We need at least 10 people to actually plan the trip. So we'll call it the South Jersey Men's Club trip. Specific dates, that'll be worked out in accordance with our schedules, but we need 10 people. I should have thought about it ahead of time and put some papers on the table saying, do you volunteer or you think you could go? What I'd like you to do is send Mike or myself an email saying you're interested, and we'll get more details. We'll get somebody from, there's an email, I'll get to that in a second, Mike. Send us information that you're interested. We'll get somebody from VFI to speak to us all, probably on Zoom. They're very active in South Jersey. They're very active in Pennsylvania, New York, etc. There's a lot of ambassadors. Let me ask a question now. Anybody interested? Anybody feel like they might be interested in April? again,
Nelson, you can open up to women too?
oh, yeah. Thank you for saying that. This is not just for men, it's for men and women. The only problem is you will not be sleeping in the same room as your wife, which could be an advantage for some people. Right?
Already have people.
Already have, yeah, very good. So like I said, they put who you're sleeping with is up to you. I can't tell you that. But it's a fantastic experience. I talk about it all the time. Mike talks about it. Everybody that's been there wants to go back. And again, this is our opportunity. So there's some yellow papers on the table talking about the website for VFI. Take a look at that.
What's the limit for the trip?
Oh, that's the thing we have to discuss. It could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm thinking right now it'll be 2 weeks. The thing you have to pay for is your own airfare there. Food is fantastic. Like I said, it's all free. It's not like the military food I had years ago in U.S. facilities, and I was Air Force. But you have to pay for the weekend that they let you off, but they'll give you transportation to someplace that you want to go to. It's just, again, a fantastic opportunity. So look at that website, send Mike and myself an email if you're interested. We'll arrange it for a VFI ambassador to speak to us as a group, and we'll get back to you. We'll arrange this. Thank you all. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Nelson. Law enforcement breakfast. How many people were at the law enforcement breakfast? We had great attendance. If you haven't been to a law enforcement breakfast, you got to go to one. At least go to one. You'll go to one and then you'll come back and go to the next one and the next one. I don't know how Mike does it. I don't think anybody here can do it. I'm not sure if there's anybody in the universe that can do it. Mike gets 200 people together. They're police chiefs, they're federal officers, they're probation officers. It amazes me. He just gets them all together. It's a wonderful affair. There's speakers. The food's good. What else could you ask for? Mike, do you want to come up and talk a little bit about law enforcement? Oh, no. He's already here?
Good morning. Good morning. Oh, my goodness. By the by, I just want to piggyback.
5 minutes.
I want to piggyback on Nelson. It's life-changing when you do this volunteer for Israel. In Israel, it's called Sarel. And you see the real Israel. I mean, there's people who have been to Israel, 10 times, let's say, always on a tour. And they say, hey, everybody speaks English. Then you haven't seen the real Israel, have you? You go there, and there's nobody being paid to make you feel comfortable. When you go there and you're working, you eat and sleep on the Army base. And the weekends are on your own, unless there's also programs where they have programs for you. All right, I'm going to move on from that. We are not a breakfast club, are we? Are we? No. Some of you are not taking advantage of all the things that we can do. We do a tremendous number of things. In a few minutes, we'll be having our membership chair speak about all the opportunity list. Some people have filled out things that they want to volunteer for. There's almost 50 different things you could volunteer to do. If all you're doing is coming for breakfast once a month, you're selling yourself short. Seriously. Now, moving on. Everybody has at their seat a yellow piece of paper, and on that paper, you've got links for websites. The first one is the one that Nelson mentioned, VFI, Volunteers for Israel, in the United States. There's other chapters in other countries. And if you look at that one, you end up being able to learn an awful lot about it. But I'm going to move on now. The law enforcement breakfast, that's the second thing. If you want to see the full video, I have the link there on that yellow paper. If you want to see the fantastic article that was in the Jewish Community Voice newspaper, there's a link for that. The last thing before I focus on the law breakfast is I'm surprised when I sometimes will look at this little short video about our 25th anniversary banquet that we had, I guess about 3-4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. No, wait a minute. We're 30-some years. Back it up. Got it? We had people speaking about our men's club, mayors, senators, prosecutors, talking about all the things that we do. Take advantage of what we do. I suggest you take a look at that 5-minute mini video. Okay, moving on to just the law breakfast. This was the flyer that we had. We've been doing it since 1996. We skipped a few years. And we are part of, here, we help out with the Jewish Community Center, which is part of the Jewish Federation of Southern New Jersey. At the law breakfast, we have built communications with every single solitary police chief association and every single solitary prosecutor's office in every single solitary county of New Jersey. And you'll see in a moment some of the pictures. Now, how does this breakfast get together? These are the guys from our men's club who were there. Not one person can do everything. Not two people can do everything. It was a tremendous coordinated effort by many, many people. Starting when people came in, these are the people who do the check-in. We had so many organizations coming, so many police chiefs coming, so many prosecutors, and on and on and on. FBI people, state police people. We can't just have them walk in and not know who they are. And these are the folks who volunteered to check them in. We also had a 50-50, and we have people helping with that. You'll also notice at the bottom, when the 50-50 was chosen, we ended up having enough money, not just from that, but also from some of the proceeds. We were able to give, not yet, but we did a symbolic check of $1,000 to the Holocaust Education Center, which is here, and the Hero Scholarship Fund. And we're going to be presenting the actual checks in their future meetings. That's a heck of a crowd, isn't it? Let me tell you, you felt very safe when you figured that the majority had weapons, had firearms on them. Look at that, incredible. We had, obviously, we had an honor guard from a police department. This year it was Cherry Hill.
Ding, 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 ding.
Now, if you look across here, you'll see that we have every single prosecutor from South Jersey. Now, in New Jersey, some of you may not be aware of this, the chief law enforcement official is the prosecutor above all else. We also did something rather innovative where we have little kids do cards in the Hebrew schools, thanking the police chiefs. Look at the faces of these cops. When these little kids come around and distribute them, these cops just melt. It makes a big, big impact. Now, how does it all get done? Phil Arano, who was our MC, Steve Barsky, in charge of the 50-50. Jerry Emder prepared the plaques for the awardee. Phil Gonorov took care of printing flyers and program sheets. Bob Greenberg was in charge of the room setup and facilities. Rich Moskowitz had a monster job in charge of acquiring food and the kitchen and setup. Dave Nydorf, who's here today and will be a snowbird in about a week, was in charge of videos and photos. Ed Stein took care of registration and the table signs. Stan Schumas, as always, took care of finances. Gary Sternberg, who's joining us via Zoom from Florida, took care of the flyer and editing. He translates the things that we write into real English. And I took care of the programming and was the event chairman. Amazing. Remember that large crowd of ours? It took that many people to put this together. And the proudest thing I could say is I mentioned that we did make donations. Thus far, we have donated to those, from proceeds and the 50-50, over $8,000 to these organizations. And the reception that we get from them and the networking is fantastic. And in this days of rising anti-Semitism, it really doesn't hurt to have close connections with law enforcement, does it? Okay? And that, gentlemen, is my report on the law breakfast.
Thanks, Mike. For those people who are not listed up here, I'd like to see you all stand up for a minute, and I'd like to give you a hand who participated in setting up that law breakfast. There's a lot of people. So you've heard about Mike in Israel. You've heard about Mike at law enforcement. A few weeks ago, we had a Man of the Year dinner. Guess who was the Man of the Year? I think it was Mike. Mike? Randy, do you have any video on Man of the Year? Just a quickie?
This is the 5-minute one.
Well, let me, while it's on the screen, I'll talk a little bit about Man of the Year. Federation, we're part of the Federation of Joint.
Yeah. Lower the
And
light.
you can say that about the South Jersey Men's Club. Consider, have you ever been a member of any group where every single president, past president, is still active?
Randy. I'll take a minute and then we'll ask Mike if he wants to say a few more words. Not too many. We're part of the Federation of Jewish Men's Clubs. We're in the Middle Atlantic region. They have an annual dinner for Man of the Year. Each club selects a Man of the Year if they want to. I know Mike's been Man of the Year twice. I don't know if we have anybody else who's been Man of the Year twice. I think he was Man of the Year when he was 12 years old, and now he's Man of the Year at, 70, 80, whatever it is. But anyway, Mike's constantly working on men's club things. He is devoted to this men's club. He's a pain in the ass sometimes, but we all love him. Anyway, Mike, do you want to say a few words about Man of the Year? Or
The only thing I'll say is 25 years ago I got it, and then this time, so if you stick to the schedule, the next one I expect to see you all there in 2048.
Mike, I promise I'll be there. I think some of you have seen the video by Bill Maher. It's about Israel. I don't know that much about Israel. I've never been heavily involved in Israel. My parents were Holocaust survivors. My father was. My father came to this country in 1941. If you want to hear the story sometime, grab me, I'll tell you the story. Not too many people made it here who were Jewish in 1941, I know that. Alan?
It's been about, 9 or 10 years since I did a presentation in front of this group about people who escaped the Holocaust. My mother-in-law and her two brothers. Somewhere, I think, in our archives, you might be able to find that video.
Okay. In any case, some of us have seen this Bill Maher video. It's a 5 or 6 minute one. It's comedic and it's very serious at the same time. Randy, I think you have it on. Okay, let's take a few minutes. You'll get a chuckle, but it's also very serious, obviously. I don't want to get into any long political discussions this morning, but I think for some of us, I can say for me, puts it a little bit more into perspective. Funny, serious. I enjoyed it anyway. Ron Ettinger. Ron is our membership director. We have grown from a club, I don't know, when I started, 10, 12 years ago, I think we had 50 or 60. We have 120 now.
What else are you gonna say?
All right. Let me begin by, we have a couple guests here I'd like to introduce. Mark Shapiro and Paul Fishbein. Stand up. Thank you for coming, guys, and we hope you come again, join the group. Are there any other guests here? Okay. As we finish 2023, what I'm pleased to report, we've had probably our biggest year in bringing on new members. 21 new members this year alone. Now, I've only been on this job for about 3 months, so I can't take any of the credit. It all goes to my colleague, Rob Levine. So what did the board do? We promoted him. So now he's president-elect. What I've done, what I'm trying to do as our new members come on board is to get to know them and introduce them to the membership at our meetings. And so in the last week or so, I made some contact to several of the recent new members, and I'd like to just say a few words after speaking with them. Charles Fleischman, stand up. Charles lives in Centennial Mills in Voorhees. He is, and this was really interesting for me, he's a forensic engineer. What is a forensic engineer? Now, I'll try to remember what you told me. When something breaks or explodes, Charles will go and try to figure out what happened. Right, Charles?
Well, that's sort of right.
Sort of right.
Close it up, and then... Well, how many lawyers do we have here? Too many. So, I am hired by law firms. I am hired by insurance companies. I investigate accidents where there's fatalities. Coming this month, I have 3 trials I'll go to as a witness, as an expert witness. My background is I'm a mechanical engineer.
Penn State grad, by the way.
We are. So the purpose really is, all right, so I spent 40 years as a design engineer, traveling around the world, armpits of the world. Nice to say. Hydraulics, welding, manufacturing. I designed crushing equipment, probably designed crushing equipment where we did probably 80% of the coal crushing throughout the world. That industry turned south because of the reportedly global warming, closing global warming. Yeah, that's political.
All right, no politics. All right. All right. No, just moving along. Charles is married, has 3 sons and 4 grandsons. Originally from.
No. 2 sons, 1 daughter.
And as for hobbies, he's from Philly originally, and as far as hobbies, likes guns.
Well, likes guns, but not armed.
Not armed. All right. Charles, welcome and thank you for joining. Next, Alan Turov. Where's Alan? Alan he lives in Mount Laurel. He's a Temple grad, a CPA and financial planner. So the finance guys, married, 3 children, 2 grandchildren, Army ROTC veteran, big Eagles fan. One interesting thing about Alan, he's got a Havanese poodle who was a certified therapy dog. And he goes to Lionsgate Weekly to, bring his dog and meet the people. And apparently that's very successful. Alan is also a finance and stock trader. So something's near and dear to my heart as well. Anything else, Alan?
I'm a Phi Sigma Delta alum. Yes. And one of my brothers is here, Mr. Shumis.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
I'm saying at Temple I was a member of Phi Sigma Delta, and my brother Stan was also there.
Okay, thank you, Alan. And next, David Steinberg. Some of you might recognize Dave. Dave actually made a presentation here almost 2 years ago.
August of 2022.
22. David is a poet who has received a nomination for a Nobel Peace Prize. Wow. Now I bring it up because not everybody who was here at the time knows that. He started a Society for Poetry, and it's been going on for over 40 years.
44 years in February.
That's not the Dead Poets Society.
Dave lives in Runnymede, another Penn State grad.
We are.
Go Penn State.
Except what happened yesterday? We were. Anything else you'd like to share with the group?
Yeah, one more thing. I was the first writer ever published in Gaza in 2014 during another war with Israel. A friend of mine who translated my works into Arabic had the contacts in Gaza. She's my rap. One more thing. Thank you for reminding me. Semper Fi, U.S. Marine Corps.
Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about, on every table, and it was brought up, I think Mike brought it up and Ed brought it up, are these blue and white sheets that identify opportunities for volunteering. And we ask that you consider, these are the areas where we can use help. If you just put your name next to one of the lines, categories, and if the table captain will pick them up and give them back to me or Mike after the meeting. It's a good way to get involved with a lot of the things we've been talking about today. So if you're not involved, and a lot of them, you can do it from home. A lot of them don't involve physical activity, some even mental activity. But it's a good way to stay involved. And I'll tell you, the more you put into the club, the more you'll get out of the club. So that's all I have to say.
Oh, no, okay.
Ed,
Yes.
1 minute?
Sure.
1 minute.
Before lunch or after?
About right now.
Come on up.
I will be short.
Yeah, that's sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Good morning, and let me be the first to wish you Happy New Year. And you'll all come to the Men's Club event, right? Midnight at your house. Okay. So, a lot of volunteer opportunities. This one is the easiest. It's the newest. We're putting together a program with the JC that he was a grandfather for the first time. And I told him it's really a terrific job. It's very easy. You show up and smile a lot. And I think with this program, you basically do the same thing. It has a Hebrew name, but let's call it Sidekicks. They're getting this up and running. There's going to be an introductory meeting on January 18th. You can register for it, or you can just show up. And basically what they're asking is for people, men and women, seniors, grandparents, or people who like to be grandparents, to show up for 1 or 2 hours, once, maybe twice a week, with the early childhood kids here at the JCC. So if you'd like to get involved and get involved with the planning and designing this program, show up on that morning. We'd love to see you. Again, it'll be very, very simple, and just come and smile a lot.
Thanks, Barney. I just wanted to say a few words about Ron and Rob. Rob Levine. I think it's Levine. In Long Island, it's Levine. Anyway, sorry, I don't know if that was me or somebody else. Anyway, these two guys have done just a tremendous job in new member acquisition. And Ron has recently developed this form for new members. You know, in the past, we've had a new member stand up, and some of them will go on for 10 minutes, but most of them will take about 10 seconds and say, hi, my name's Joe Schmo, and I live in Voorhees, and that's all we know about them. So Ron now has this form that we'll be giving to new members that basically asks them, you know, where did you go to school, where did you work, a few of the basic questions. So when they get up, actually, I think Ron's going to present it like he did today. So number one, so that the guys in the back who always say, I can't hear you, will hear him. And we'll also know a little bit more about new members. And, you know, maybe you went to school with them. Maybe you went to the same high school. We seem to have a lot of the Philly guys here who went to wherever, Northeast, or who knows where they went in Philly. But there's some cooperation there where, you know, they went to the same school. So that should get us to know our new members a little bit better than we have in the past. We're almost to the end of this, believe it or not. We originally started out by saying that we'd like to introduce some of the board members and what their responsibilities are. I sent this out to the board members and asked them if they would look at our forum, which is our document, our guiding document. It's not our bylaws, we have separate bylaws, but the forum, which Don Weisenstein gets all the credit for. He's been working on this for I don't know how many years now, but I think it's 30 pages by now, Don? I don't know how many. It's when you had hair, yes, I remember, yes, absolutely. Anyway, it's on the website. I don't know how many of you have ever been on the website. It is easier to get onto now than it used to be. I think Marty gets credit for that. Go on the website, take a look at the forums, see what some of our officers do. See if you'd like to be an officer. It's very rewarding. You'll get a lot of camaraderie with the rest of the board and so forth. Did any of the officers show up here this morning with a copy of their responsibilities and would like to just take a minute or two?
Have them stand.
Well, all right, let's stand. If you're on the board, let's see who you are anyway. Let's give them a hand. Rob, do you want to take it? Rob's never short for words. So, come on up. Come on up. Take a minute. We'll take a couple of the board. We'll take a couple of the board members, and then there's a couple minor things, and we're done.
Can you hand this out?
Can I hand that out? Sure.
Fred, can you help me with this? One for each table, just one for each table. I live in Centennial Mill, and we have a Havarim. And at the Israeli birthday party that we had, we had a trivia contest, and we gave out $5 gift certificates to the winning table for ShopRite. So I've done some field work for you, and the $5 will buy you 2 cans of Heinz vegetarian beans and a pound and a half of bananas on the right day. But everyone at the table that has won the contest will get a $5 gift certificate from ShopRite. So if you do me, if you can cooperate here, don't look at the, don't use your phone. Everybody knows how to Google here. Don't do that. Okay, guys, that's time. Pencils down, pens down. Okay. Anybody get the first one? What table? Anybody get the answer? Okay. Which city is the capital of Israel?
Well, that's a tough one.
Jerusalem. Okay. Next. What are the official languages of Israel?
English.
Hebrew and Arabic. It's the official languages, guys. Don't tell me Ladino and Yiddish. Okay, which countries border Israel? There are 4. You have all 4? Okay. That's Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, and Egypt. Who was elected prime minister in 1969? Golda Meir. Okay. Which freshwater lake is the lowest freshwater lake in the world? The Sea of Galilee. I know, the Dead Sea. Okay. What did you say? Okay. All right. What is the national parliament in Israel called? Good, Knesset. Which ancient port is famous for its association with oranges?
Jaffa.
Jaffa is right. Prior to the establishment of the national language, what language was proposed to be the official language of Israel?
Yiddish.
German. Is the population of Israel closer to 3 million, 9 million, 9 million, 9 million, 17 million, or 24 million? 9 is right. Is the population, the oldest West Bank city is? Jericho. Jericho is right. Okay. How many days did the 1967 Arab-Israeli War?
6.
6 days. What is the currency of Israel? The shekel. Okay. In 1952, he was asked to be the prime minister of Israel, but declined. Right, Einstein. Okay. Which city is the economic and technological center of Israel? Haifa is right. Haifa. Okay. Which dessert? Sorry. Thank you, Ed. Thank you. Don't go far. I'm going to need your help again. Which desert comprises more than half of the area of Israel? There we go.
So we got a total up there.
Oh, hold on. No, not yet. Yeah.
More?
Name the rocky plateau in southwestern Syria with a political and strategic significance. You got it. Okay. Built on the slopes of Mount Carmel, which city is the third largest in Israel? Tel Aviv. How many Israelis have won the Nobel Prize? How many? How many? 3. 3.
Just Israeli.
Do you think I made these questions up? You're questioning the answers. Okay, here we go. 20. Who was the first prime minister of Israel? Right, Ben-Gurion. Okay. How many miles is Israel east to west? 85 miles, 155, 205. 85 is right.
Depends how you're counting. Green line, not the green, where you measure.
Don't confuse him, Barney.
Barney,
Barney, he's on the
you
roll.
think I made up these questions, okay? Okay. I was in the third reading group, okay? They called us the Bluebirds, but we knew that we were in third. All right. What name is given to the collective community that was traditionally based on agriculture? Kibbutz is right. Okay.
21.
I skipped 21. You're right. Operation Moses refers to the evacuation of Ethiopian Jews from which country?
Somalia.
Sudan. 23, here we go. The 1973 Arab-Israeli War is better known by what name? Right, the Yom Kippur War. Tel Aviv has the most of what kind of restaurant per capita after Tokyo and New York City? Sushi is correct. What is the national bird of Israel? This is the guy right here. It's hoopoe. So hoopoe. Okay? There are several pictures of it. I'll spare you the torture. Okay, here we go. The only other kosher McDonald's outside of Israel is in this city.
New York.
Buenos Aires, Argentina. Okay, here's the last one. What percent of the country of Israel is Jewish?
80%.
No, Barney's got it. 80%. 80%. Can you count up the number that you have right?
I want to recognize all the past presidents for a minute. Could you just stand up and let's take a look around and see who's been president here going back to 1856, I think. And the oldest one is?
Me, I'm 90.
Dave Wynn. He is 90 years old.
Dave started the Jewish athletic group. He started it.
He did.
And he's still active in it?
Yeah.
The Jewish athletic group.
The Jewish athletic group,
Yes,
which
he did,
many years ago. The other people that I wanted to recognize and take a minute is David, please. I'd like to recognize all the people who've been Man of the Year. Could you please stand up? Let's see who has been honored so far with Man of the Year. I wanted to mention books, eyeglasses, toiletries, so forth. Don't forget to bring them in. When you travel, if you can grab the toiletries, if you don't want them, grab them, bring them in here. We have people who can use them. That's it for me this morning, guys. Thank you. 8.
Yes, Dave. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. We're right on time. We thought that this is going to be a meeting that will be interest to you. I think we will have that again in a few months. Instead of a speaker, we're going to have some sort of involvement from everybody. So I thank you for participating in all this. And now we're going to do the 50-50.
You want me to do it?
$61.
I'm going to pick your number. Let me see if I can find it. I'm going to read the last 3 numbers. 2, 9, 7.
That's me.
Oh, no! 297. $61? Is that it?
Yeah, $61.
$61. Come on down. Let me see the ticket.
If it's written in,
The ticket has been verified.
Thank you, guys.
Drinks are on me.
We're having a investment club meeting now. Please stay for that if you're a member. Thank you very much.
Let me throw these in the bag.
Everybody have a happy